I'm still not able to see stream. 1 second, please, Discord.
Stream is not going through currently. Sadly. We may be stuck without it. But we are going to be heading into game quite shortly. Apologies for any delay that we had there. A bit of a Discord voice channel bug going on. Not sure how it happened, but we should be back and set up to go. So we were just discussing map select before we went away. We will be going towards Abyss first, which is Momentum GC's map pick, and then over towards Fracture, which is Zero Pressures. And then if the match does need to go to that decider, we will be ending things over on Lotus. But yeah, I mean, I'm just super excited to jump into this. And like I was saying, I think this should be a super interesting Abyss because we haven't actually seen it from either team. And I know last Tenax series, as well as during the GC Series 3, we saw this team from Gia led towards great heights, especially on maps like Abyss. And then from Momentum, we really haven't seen anything. So I don't know. It's kind of a bit of an unknown there. But
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. I think some of the best moments in Valorant are created when there's that moment of question where it's up in the air. You don't have all the information. Because, I mean, it's like watching Haven with that one team composition that every single team runs. You always kind of know how it's going to play out. But seeing as it's the first, I think it's going to make for some great action. I'm excited. I'm actually here and present and not breaking anymore. So, and I can see the game as well. So, I think as we kind of get into it, going on to Abyss, I think the the most interesting part is going to be this agent select, how these teams choose to play this map. This feels like one of those maps that is not, like I mentioned before, like a Haven where there's just one team comp to run. This is a very up in the air. There's many way these teams can pick out these agents and how they want to approach this map one.
yeah, and I think, I mean, right now we currently see just a few agents selected. Aurelia already going for that Omen, Gia hovering that Vice. Both teams actually deciding to maybe go for it. I know we've seen a lot of double controller.
Yeah.
I mean, especially since Champions, when this map really kind of debuted, we've seen a lot of double controller. But I think with the Tejo coming in, we could be seeing more of a double initiator, even triple initiator meta. But Zev will be locking in that Yoru, which I am a really big fan of. I think the TP gives you a lot of flexibility in how you can play your defense. You're allowed to push up mid. You have that free retreat, but then as well, you have that Yoru ult to combo with the Soba ult, just clear out these sites, make those retakes that much easier. So definitely very interested to see how Zev performs on that. And then Goddess of Love going towards that Jet. So a little bit different there. And yeah, just super excited to see, especially how much Goddess of Love is going to be pulling out that operator.
Oh yeah. It looks like we may The technical issues never stop. I do think we are having one player who's having issues with their PC restarting, so we are going to be sent back out to lobby. But we did kind of see, I it's not a Valorant like game. It's not an official Valorant game for a tournament or a league if there is not a healthy dose of scuff in the middle of it. It's kind of just mandatory at this point. It
Yeah, yeah,
adds character to the entire stream.
yeah,
Um but yeah, no, I agree with you. I definitely think we kind of saw what they were looking at there. We saw the double smokes, both teams at least hovering the Omen and the Harbor, and we saw both picking up that Vice. So this duelist, so this pairing that we even mentioned before, the Goddess of Love versus Zev, I think that's going to be the real kind of friction point because one was leaning towards that Yoru, like you said, that has all these upsides and benefits versus Goddess of Love, who is leaning towards that Jet, that staple. The no matter how much you nerf her, is always going to be a good agent, going to have a
yeah.
lot of value on the op, especially towards mid. So I do think that's kind of be the friction where this game could very well be decided.
Yeah, and something I was interested in, both teams actually did lock in that Omen rather than going for the Astra, which gives a lot of
Yeah.
flexibility in, especially in those double controller comps with how you're using your stars. I mean, you have the stuns, you have the Astra wall, you have the suck for the post plant. I mean, Abyss is a map that has been so known just for how long the post plants are,
Oh yeah.
but I think after the ping nerfs as well, it's just that much more useful. So a little interesting. But then also the harbor, rather than going for like a Viper or a second dome smoker, going for that harbor to kind of really just allow you to fight into mid, especially on the attack. It makes your mid defaults a lot easier, and then you can just constantly have those smokes up when you're attacking. But I do think it gives a bit of not one dimensionality, but kind of it just doesn't give as many options whenever you're going
Yeah.
towards that defense. So definitely interested there, but um, and yeah, if the comps are picked like they were last time, it's just going to be that one agent difference between the duelist of the Yoru versus
Okay.
that Jet. So
Yeah, and it does look like that is going to be what's locked in. We are seeing pretty much the same across the board, however. But I do agree with you on those smoke picks. I do kind of like the harbor pick. It allows there to be a more focused controller on site during the takes. But I do agree with you. I think Astra probably would be the better pick because while Omen's utility is very deep in terms of its range. The Astra global utility, I feel like, is never given the props it deserves. Having that controller who doesn't have to be with the team, paired up with the harbor, who can have a lot of impact with the team pushing onto a site, or like you said, taking mid space. I think that combination would work well. I think Omen will do well with it because they do have that incredible range. I definitely think it's interesting that neither team picked Astra.
yep, and we'll kind of have to see how these teams decide to kind of go for it. But another thing, I mean, both teams are opting for that Vice. We've seen so much more of it recently, since
Mhm.
teams kind of figured out how to play it more effectively. And I think it gives a lot of options. We're going to be seeing this setup from Kylie right away over towards this B site, and I think this is where we're going to see the Vice be set up a lot of the time because you can just kind of anchor down in the back and allow your teammates to rotate over. But for the time being, to start this pistol round off, it is going to be a play over towards this A position, but just a hold to start the round off. It's not wanting any aggression come out from these A main
Take
players.
flight.
Drone comes out.
Yeah, we're finally going to see some action here as both teams
There they are.
presence known to be made.
Standing ahead.
There's the dash in, but gets out. So more if they push through, which is going to find that first frag. Two going over to the attackers as they make their way on the site. Defense has to pull off.
Spike
3
planted.
v4 situation. Spike is going to go down. And it looks like they're not going to rest on their laurels. They're going to push up and take as much room as possible here.
And now, I mean, 2v4 is going to be difficult, especially with this crossfire backside.
And there we go. They do
Last
push out. They
player
find two
standing.
immediately. Sunny finds one on the trade, but it's not enough. The numbers game is not on their side. Defense. Oh, never mind. I got caught up in the confusion there. That was a wonderful retake there. They only lost one. I got my teams mixed up. They managed to find all four, take the defuse. That's round one. Being at a detrimental situation, they're able to pull it out.
Yeah, and I mean, Ibia being able to get two there is huge. Being able to knock down Sunny kind of allows them entryway into this site, and now that's the first round going their way. Some sheriffs, all pistols are going to be forced from this team, and Goddess of Love pulling out this outlaw already. I mean, if they can carry this into the next, they should be able to farm for the next, I mean, at least 2 rounds.
Yeah, multiple rifles getting invested as well. One hero rifle, the Phantom being brought out, paired along.
Night, night.
Ooh, there we go. Kills being traded in. Goddess of Love, as you mentioned, with that outlaw is immediately going to find some value. Attack side is going to remain not deterred. You spot it, sprayed down. Not enough damage to actually get anything, but they're trapped there. At this point,
Enemy kill.
Sheriff is not going to go their way. Spike is going to get planted for... Oh, never mind. I thought I heard the spike plant go down. They're going to make their way
Blinding
over to A. Jeez.
Not ready yet.
This is
No charges left.
Spike down
a
A.
huge kill spike.
One enemy remaining.
No charges.
In the middle, but now it's all left to Sunny.
Rising.
Yeah, Spike's in a bad spot. Phantom's still in the hand. Goddess of Love.
You should have seen your faces.
Highlight player of the match so far finds an ace in round number 2.
Yeah, kind of bailing them out there as well. I mean, everyone forced into that for the side of momentum. And it got dicey there for a minute. I mean, it was a 2v3. Those sheriffs were putting in work, and now they got that second round, but only 2 guns being able to be converted over for momentum. So there's bonus. Gonna be scrappy. Goddess of Love gonna be trying to maybe try to get knives here and toss that rifle over. Great wall to let them get this orb as well.
Yeah, we're seeing that aggression into mid already. I like to be favoring that so far for the last 3 rounds. Spike, though, is not being held by anyone, so there is still a chance for the rotate, especially as we have the Omen lurking over on B. But the defense, they're going to hear a little bit, so 4 are going to be leaning towards A, but the rotate finally coming down now, and it looks like they're going to make their way quickly to find something here in order to give their team a chance. But that Vice, imagine them before, Vice is just so good on this map. It's going to shut down that push and allow a lot of time for this rotate.
Yeah, and the rotates are going to come over. See Ibia on their way. Star comes out.
They're going to find one. Aurelia finds one on the entry.
God.
Zev picks up the second.
Spike
Brings it to a
planted.
3v5. Already not in a great spot in terms of rifles and guns, but now a numbers disadvantage as well. And this post plant that we mentioned before is already coming into play. They are going to invest the knives from the jet. They're going to
Give me
corner,
those
but
back.
will they find it? Yes, Goddess of Love finds the first one on the take. And now they need to find a way of breaking this post plant. The spike position is really good for them. Goddess of Love finds second. Aurelia
Last player
doesn't
standing.
level it, and they're just going to go for it. No ping to play around. And they won't. Oh, very close, but not quite. Pros don't fake it, so gotta appreciate the attempt.
Yeah, and those post plants are so much harder now that the pings don't go through the smoke. You just kind of have to guess, and they did have the good plant there, but they got a little risky, and that's where you might want that Astra, but we also saw the use of the Omen of just being able to get through that Vice utility.
Last placed.
The first round being picked up for 0 pressure. And once again, the start over towards this middle position. Cascade out, flash as well, and once again, this harbor wall early to deny this A main space. It's so good to get control. Just to threaten that they could have crossed and be playing in that position. But on the other side of the map, I mean, Aki just gets shut down top middle.
Yeah,
Right
this
there.
aggression coming out from the attacking Zero. They've just done so well round after round.
My
taking
ult's
the
ready.
space, like you said, using that harbor utility to keep them off, and then finding ways to just take the advantage, like in that kill, is really making it
Who's
difficult
next?
here for the defense to have a say on what happens round to round around the map. Though Kim finding that frag is going to help out Zev.
I'm
Using
back.
that ultimate's going to get a lot of information. Got to know that the rotate hasn't quite come through yet and is going to take a lot of space on the site. But the rotate for both teams is making its way over the B, but because it's taking so long from the attack, the defense is actually starting to question. They're rotating
Yeah.
away now.
30 seconds left.
That's some good info from that flash. And this slow will keep Kylie in their place. The bomb will go down. The rotates, like you said, are
Spike
not going to be
planted.
here in time. They're Zero Pressure will be able to get off site. I believe. I mean,
Not ready yet.
Vivitch should have some shock darts as well for this post plant.
Yeah, a little bit of a change up. Two players playing in the back of site here rather than the full off site as before. But Kylie and Kim are going to
One
find
enemy
a
remaining.
pair each. Ibia. Checking the last one. One left standing, Aurelia. Difficult. They're going to find the harbor. But like you said, no ping to do it. They're going to try to force it, and they just won't have it. Kylie not closing out the round. Kim getting the defuse. And that is a third round here for the defense as they are looking very strong. And it's off the back a lot of Goddess of Love. 8 kills so far in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, really putting those numbers up. And that will be the Harbor ult gained as well for Ibia. Another player who maybe isn't fragging out as heavily, but has had some impactful kills so far in this map. And we'll have the Harbor ult just as another piece of utility on the other side for Zero Pressure. There's going to be 2 rifles in the hands of Aurelia and Vivitch, but Sheriffs for the rest. And once again, a focus towards this middle area as this drone re-clears this A main space, and Goddess of Love walking up with it. Gia should be aware of this. Oh my god, I love this so much, just taking up so much space on the defense side, and the rotates are gonna go through towards that A side as well.
Absolutely. It's going to force them into this B hit 'cause they just do not know where Goddess of Love is. They are making their way up. Hopefully, them trying to find someone. Sheriff in hand. They are going to catch him looking. Now, they find the 2 kills. Rifles possibly able to get through the smoke. Kylie is actually able to find more,
Spike
help
planted.
equalize it just a little bit more. Gonna push through. They're not able to recover the rifles either, so still Sheriff's in hand. Goddess of Love wrapping around from behind. They have nowhere to go.
Last player
Hit with
standing.
that splash, but it doesn't matter. Relly and Rich are gonna find it. Kylie, last person standing. Does have rifle in hand, but it's just too much. Gunned down by the firing squad off-site.
Yeah, and a great round. I mean, by both teams there, to be honest, but whenever you don't have those quicker rotates, just takes a minute to go through, and the calling from Gia
Thank you.
to just go over towards that B
Now
site.
we wait.
It's working out
Listen,
for the
Dan.
team of Zero Pressure. Now a full eco for Momentum GC.
Retrieving thorns.
A few ultimates on this one, but on the other side, I mean, Vivitch does have that Hunter's Fury, but setting up for a quick play over towards B main, trying to
Scanning
punish.
ahead.
But Aurelia is the only player here.
And if they can find this kill, that's really nice for them. They're gonna get some damage down. They are gonna find the kill, but it's not
Flooding them.
as
Let's turn the tide.
It's a gun to pick up, though.
It is, and Vice gonna do their best to hold down the site over on A, but it's just not gonna be enough. And 4v1, site is gonna be taken. Spike is immediately
Cutting
gonna go
through.
down, and they picked up 1 rifle, but there was some serious damage onto the harbor. 2 players down. It's gonna be a very, very rough retake here.
Yeah, especially with that Hunter's Fury from V-Bitch, like we mentioned. And these post-plant positions as well. 2 posted in back sight. I mean, maybe need to get a move on here.
Yeah, that is going
Great
to
skin.
spot 2 of them. They're still expecting this push out from the back. Not going to be any, though. Zev, looking down to the timing of it, is going to find it. That's the rifle down. Only Sheriff's in the hand.
Last player
They
standing.
drop the code to see what they can do. Not going to be enough. Aki's going to find a little bit with that kill, but they're going to fall to the spike as well. So it's going to be a lot of rifles off the board for the attack, but honestly, about as well as they were going to do over from momentum.
Yeah.
Side.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even if you're zero pressure, you're not too mad about that. You got plenty of money set up. We're going to be seeing a switch up in the strategy from Momentum as well. Finally aggressing over towards that middle position with Goddess of Love. That up to send it down as with this dart and cascade that you'll probably be seeing
Revealing
come out,
area.
but not really anyone here currently. It's a bit of a switch up. They might expect something different from the other rounds.
next?
It's your role. We'll see y'all.
Decoy. Plant a spike.
Nowhere to run!
Get a lot of information, and they're going to use the strategy of having them sit on them while they use the Hunter's Fury. It's actually not going to find them, though. Goddess of Love is going to find the first one. Kylie on sight is not going to fall, finds a third. Gia is going to level out just a little bit here. Defense is going to pull back. Spike's going to go down. Hunter's Fury is going to deny that plant, and Kim is actually going to get the kill with it as well. 4 on 2 now. Goddess of Love sitting up top. They know where they are roughly.
This is so difficult.
Spike. It's just gonna jump in to try to get something, and that's gonna give them the numbers that they need, make it a
enemy
2v2,
remaining.
catch them off guard. They're gonna invest the harbor ult. That's gonna
enemy
help them out
remaining.
quite a bit. Aki
Spike
finds the
down
first kill.
A.
Doesn't know where the last one is, and Vivich is gonna close it out. Chaotic round. The defense momentum had that in the
taught as
bag.
a boss team.
4v2.
The fight
They
demands
throw it away.
Yeah, that is a rough one for sure. Just when you think, I mean, you have that round for free, a 4v2, and then, I mean, Goddess of Love kind of just jumps in that, the cove, just trying to, I mean, just with a classic, not even a shorty, and not able to get traded, and some great duels from the side of Vivich and Sunny to win it out there. Now, once again, on the back foot, Zero Pressure taking the lead
Wave crashing.
in the first map of Abyss. And once again, this aggression down mid.
Yeah, Sheriff in hand. It's not going to do much. Vivich is going to be the first one. Opening frag with that rifle in hand. It's going to force a little bit of a scatter from the defense. The attack side, they just know that they're going to have the advantage. So they are pushing up aggressively, taking as much room as they can. Spike is still sitting back towards their spawn, so they're just trying to find frags. But Aki with the Sheriff is going to find the equalizer. And now we're going to see them play around the spike. It looks like A is going to be their destination of choice.
Yeah, and no players are here currently. You do have that Vice Wall, the Shear set up to give any info as well as those Razor Vines, but it's just Kim back in security going to be feeding this information to their team, and the wall actually gets popped. Only 2 players will be able to cross for the time being, but Kim does go down. I don't know if there's a way back in for into this for Momentum.
No, they're kind of
30 seconds
trapped
left.
in here. One player coming in from that mid space, coming up from behind them. 3 coming on site. They don't have really any rifles. Gia get a nice backstab here if they time it correctly. They're gonna try to run to the back, and there's a little bit of a delay from the reaction time from Zev. Kylie finds one, but Gia does get that backstab. So now Heaven is no longer safe for them. Aki is very low as well. The spokes are just not quite right. There's a little bit of a gap there. Aurelia
One
is
enemy
going to try to
remaining.
catch him. Is going to find the one despite being blind. Aurelia is actually going to find both of them to close it out. Nice easy round for them as they extend their lead. I think this is the first time we're seeing a 2-round lead so far this month.
Yeah. And this is exactly what you want if you are the side of Zero Pressure,
Can someone
getting as
spot me?
many rounds on this attack side. I mean, it is that favored side of Abyss, and we've seen that time and time again come into play. That's a little bit of
Retrieving
why this
thorns.
Vice is picked, so
Launching
you can
thorn.
kind of anchor down this B site and not have to worry about it as much. But with how Zero Pressure have been playing so far, Kylie's utility has kind of been nullified. Once again, this trade of utility early on towards middle. I gotta say, except for that 1 round,
Right there.
Zero Pressure's been winning out these exchanges most often towards the mid area.
Yeah, and I think it's because they're playing to their, their advantage. They have been pushing in rounds in which they know they're going to have these gun advantages. And when they know they're on advantage, even though right now it is technically a full buy across the board, they have that momentum advantage. We
Yep.
are seeing a little bit of the util invested from the harbor is going to cut off the defenders on A, make them question, pull off site a little bit, but Gia is going to find that opening frag.
That is a huge kill as well. There's no other players there that's going to have to pull the rotates. Harbor, Ibia will be there, and look, is pulling all 4 rotates, and Zev hears all of this, calling their team back over towards the A site. And look at this. Deciding to go for it. The trigger discipline, will it pay off?
Yeah, just
30
now the
seconds
rotate
left.
is coming. They are going to catch the barrel of the gun, but they're not going to see the second one. Zev's going to find the first one, but fall before they can get anything more. But that rotate was so slow. They didn't even trust when they heard the Sova dart, so they're just now making their way over. Spike is down, and we're seeing this post plant get played out yet again. It's worked for them so far. Are they
One enemy
This didn't
remaining.
work the first round, but it doesn't matter when Vivitch goes crazy, finds the first 2, heard the third one in the back, and now it's pretty much their round to lose as we see Aki go away, try to save that rifle.
Yeah, and that's some of the power of that harbor on the attack, especially. I mean, you have not only the Vice Razorvines to slow, but the harbor wall slows as well. So when you're swinging through it, it can be harder to trade out. Aki just trying to save this gun, running for their life, and I think they will be able to keep it into round number 10, but we need to see a switch up. We need to see a change. I was talking about how I wanted to see the operator, but I mean, Momentum really haven't been able to afford it yet. They haven't strung enough rounds together to get that online, and it kind of looks from how they're deciding to play this, they really would like to see one, but once again on an eco, a few guns into this, but I mean, Zero Pressure just got to keep doing what they're doing, defaulting over towards this A and middle spot, but look at this switch up from the defense.
Yeah, change of pace as they try to play this a lot more aggressive. Both teams got it is going to take a little bit longer away. Aki's going to find that one Zev with the trade-off. Finally, we see a little bit of a pullback here. Defense did get the best of it, though, especially as Ibia finds that kill.
I'll handle this.
Zev's going to invest that ultimate, get a little bit of information. They do still have the gun advantage, but now they don't have Spike on
I'm back.
sight. Decoy. Or the numbers advantage, so they're going to have to reassess here.
Yeah, deciding not to maybe not go into
I
the
got the
stack
spike.
of 2, and they didn't know that Ibia was rotating over, but it could definitely be warranted. And you see Sunny sticking over here, has this harbor wall, won't be able to cut off security, and Aki has this deep line to feed information. So we see the rotates for Zero Pressure. They're deciding, okay, maybe we should end up going over towards
30 seconds
the
left.
B site. It's worked for us quite a bit, and Sunny does have this ultimate. Gia just got the Steel Garden of their own.
Walt, thorns are alive.
Is going to be the ultimate invested. Keep him off sight. Rotate is going to come over.
Spike planted.
With
Time to jump.
Spike is going to fall, but Zev, dealing with that sheer wall, is going to delay him a little bit. But because they know they're at a disadvantage here, defense is taking their time. And here we
Thorns are alive.
Post plant yet again, but now it's going to be a little bit awkward. We're seeing the counter Vice ult. Look at that.
And the code.
They are going to find the defuser, though, so Zev, another one, brings it level. Zev with 3 as they're playing in and around the smoke. Ibia finally finds one. Sunny falls.
One enemy remaining.
Sit, and they will find the one
You can't see
stopping,
my
and there we
face
go.
right now, but just
Yeah.
know.
To fall.
I'm
They didn't
smiling.
know if they got him the first time, but they secured it with that second little spray down.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more sketchy than they probably wanted, but they were able to secure the round. We are seeing a timeout here come, which I think at this point very well deserved. They're 3-7 down.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have a few ultimates into this, the knives as well. So if you can get, I mean, 4, even 5 rounds on this defense half, you'd be feeling pretty good swapping over to Momentum's attack side. And I mean, zero pressure, I think, like we said, this defaulting is really doing a number on Momentum. The back and forth, the rotates from Momentum don't really know where to go, and they don't have something like the Yoru to kind of assist in that, to quickly go from one position of the map to another and assist in that flood retake.
Yeah, no, a mixture of that and them just playing to their advantage. They are reading the game so well. They're pushing in spots where they know they're going to have advantage, when they know they have the economic advantage, the rifle advantage, and playing in and around that, not playing risky, taking the measured calls, and not sticking out their necks to make risky plays because they know
Yeah.
they don't need to. They're so
exactly.
far in control of this that they can just play. I mean, that last round, they played smart, they played off, they waited, and while they were running out of time, they were also so comfortable because they know even if they lost last round, they have a healthy amount of money in the bank, and they are still at a very healthy round count. So they're in a really good spot, and you know right now
Bloody
they're feeling good going into this.
And look at this. Oh, that's not how you want to start the round, especially not after a timeout. And then one just... Okay, that was the Yoru clone. I got baited by the Yoru clone falling off the map. Okay.
Right
Watching
there.
Yeah,
a
we
little
do-
too much Valorant today.
We do see the change up of pace, the attack
I
side also,
suggest you
and now they're
move.
making a massive change. They are pushing this mid, not just taking space. They're going to push up into that CT area. They're going to catch one off guard.
One
Tyler's
enemy
going to
remaining.
fall here. He's going to find one in trade, but it doesn't matter because the overwhelming numbers on the attack have just rushed, and the device like is going to go down. And now Aki, very unfortunately, I feel like they are constantly being left in these 1v2,
Yeah.
1v4 situations. I think it's like third or fourth time is yet again going to be asked to do it all. And at this point, you gotta be questioning whether or not saving the rifle is
Cover
going out. And it
don't
looks
think
like
they have the
that
money.
is gonna be it. They don't. They do not have the money to invest.
And that's
they need
rough.
to be able to save it.
I mean, especially after
Water rising.
the coach calling that timeout, you'd hope that they could get something, but I mean, zero pressure, read it perfectly, and they come out with a set strat of their own. Aki will be able to get the first, but anything else is just a consolation prize. Aurelia will take Aki down. That's an 8th on the board, and
Last
a
round
strong
in the
half so
half.
far, but a beautiful set play, like I was saying, from the side of zero pressure. That harbor ult to push in, just throw momentum off completely. As I mean, zero pressure really haven't done any fast plays. I mean, all other 10 rounds they played pretty slow in general, and then that round just swapping it up outside the timeout. Lovely adjustment, and now it's just
Launching
and
thorn.
there is somewhat of a buy here for momentum, but it's not. It's not all that. Yeah, it's scattered. That's a good way.
We are going to see this out here. Like you said, we have not seen a lot of aggression come out from the attack. Zero, and it looks like
Standing
they
ahead.
might be leading towards it again, or at least they're teasing it a little bit as they immediately put down a lot of util towards A. But in reality, quite a lot moving over towards B. And they've been playing for picks. They can find one here, and they are going to peek out. They're not going to find anything. Both sides just getting some information.
Yeah, bullets being exchanged. The shear is popped, but the bomb is nowhere near the site, and all these rotates. Look, once again, I think the first blood will eventually go the way of Kim, and look
Yeah,
at this wraparound from Goddess Love as well. Aurelia, do they expect it?
Yeah, Aurelia getting caught off guard. Goddess
Spike
Love, but a
planted.
nod's going to do the most. Harbor ultimate is going to get invested. Kylie tries to swing out. Only Guardian in hand's not going to do enough. Ibia is going to find one, though, because of the 4-on-2.
Last
They are
player
going to get some rifles on the
Right.
board, and now Zez is going to have to do what they can, but it's just not enough. They got the spike down. They can't close it out. And despite a really rough half for them,
Okay, now
they
we
can say they did not lose every round after the full buy. They were able to close out the last
Switching
one.
sides.
So 8-4. Anything's possible in Valorant. We've seen a lot worse positions, but it's definitely not a feel-good spot for them.
No, but I mean, I think some of it will come down to Goddess of Love here on this attack, and getting this pistol round would be huge for Momentum GC. On the other side, while Kylie pretty much exclusively stuck towards that B site, we're already seeing a bit of a swap up in this way the Vice is being played. Gia just 4-1ing this. So we're strong siding over towards this B site, but as we see, I mean, Momentum is just gearing up to hit over towards this A site at least to start Cascade to get a little bit of info as well as his drone, just making sure no one is close by.
Yeah, and while we see these two teams kind of test each other out, test out the water, see what's going to happen, I do want to just bring to the attention the fact that Goddess of Love, we talked about how well they were doing early on. I mean, I specifically mentioned how it was so impressive. In 4 rounds, they got 8 kills. And I think a lot of the success their opponents had has also been just shutting them down. Goddess of Love only has 10 kills. They've only gotten 2 since round 4. Shutting down that big of a threat round to round has just been so helpful to them.
Especially when it's the player that needs to be the spearhead for your team, but going to be looking to turn that around in this second half.
There we go. Finally, some damage being traded. Aurelia is going to find that kill, but wasn't very it is very possible for them to fall. Goddess of Love going to find that trade now as well. Not take too much in the process. It looks like B's the
30 seconds left.
They are going to get the spike down with very little coming out. Zev up top is going to find that kill on Aki. Smokes will fall. Zev with 2.
1 enemy remaining.
2 situation now. Make it a 4v1 as Kim hanging on the bridge is going to do what they can, but classic in hand, it's just not going to be enough. Very slow round to start, but everyone being thrown at the wall in the later stages.
Good try, idiots.
Look at how coordinated that was from Zero Pressure as well. The retake, waiting for everyone to get there, and then they're just 4 swinging out from heaven after Zed gets that first pick, just making sure there's not any 1v1s being given to Momentum, and that's the second pistol, or that's the first pistol, excuse me, that Zero Pressure will be able to pick up now on a 9th, and going to be looking to get to double digits. And for the side of Momentum, not a lot being invested into this, just a stinger and light armor for Goddess of Love, going to be trying to be the hero in this round.
Yeah, hero stinger. Not something you typically hear, but at this point, they need whatever advantages they can take. Is looking like a lead towards A. There is a lack of defenders, and Goddess of Love is actually going through this. Will they spot him? Gia with the Spectre. Just a little bit too noisy is going to find them. Sunny Gia there, and they're just going to try to run at them, and they're going to fall. Sunny is going to find that kill on the Kim. Kim was holding Spike, so Spike is now up in tower. This is a really rough spot for the
But that's a good few kills from Aki. Okay, maybe there's a chance of this.
Redundant.
Last player
out.
standing.
Gia, though, is back with a vengeance. 2 more on the round to bring up 3 kills. And Kylie tries to get the wrap around. Just not enough. Sunny to close out the round. And
I demand
a little bit of an interesting choice there.
Yeah.
Running up to Heaven with Spike in hand. Very reminiscent of, I don't know if anyone has been watching DCT for as long as I, but back in like 2022 when King, Raze jumped into Heaven on
Shout out.
Haven.
Exit Lev.
No, it's-
good old
Yeah,
22 champs.
yeah. So, very interesting play, but they do get quite a bit from it. Aki, finding those 2 is going to be very nice for the bank, as we see the teams kind of run at each other.
And Aurelia does have this outlaw. A few players on half armor. First Love already proccing that dash, not going to be able to use it for an entry onto this, and this is one of the positions Zeb is in. But once again, kind of just caught sleeping at the wheel. But Aurelia will be able to pick one up onto Kylie, traded back and forth.
Yeah, notably a lot of space being taken by Goddess of Love here. Does have Phantom in hand, but does not find anything. Ibia, luckily, finds something on Vivich. Is going to give them advantage. Aki as well over on B. Site is opening up. Defense really can't do anything to halt this push out. Goddess of Love is going to try to take this very low, very if possible with this Ghost.
And they will be spotted there, but like you said, just the Ghost in hand. I mean, and an Outlaw as well, or a Spectre, excuse me, dropped 4. That Outlaw, and this is going to be difficult.
Yeah, multiple attackers are weak here. So even though they don't have rifles in hand, this is still very possible, at least for them to do some serious damage.
Yeah, great high tide to cross the site as well. All 4 players for Momentum are off site.
They are running out of time to get this.
One enemy remaining.
Hunter's Fury immediately. Aki with one. Their teammates are kind of running in front of the Hunter's Fury, taking a little bit of damage, but I guess it doesn't matter. Ibia to close out the round. It's gonna be rather clean, actually. They're gonna have to invest into some shields, but that's 4 rifles, obviously.
Yeah, and you maybe could like question that Hunter's Fury, but I mean, I think it's great from Kim just to secure the round. And like you said, you carry over 4 rifles. You want to make sure you're building up your economy because if Momentum want a chance back in this map, they need to string a few rounds together right here before Zero Pressure can get any momentum of their own, get any ultimates online. The other side, once again, this Harbor coming into play for this mid default, covering both top mid positions. But look at this from Vivich. The drone debate. Aurelia sitting deeper on this off angle. Gonna dissuade.
Deploying drone.
That drone actually is also going to get a lot of information since they only spot up to 1. They're going to know there's going to be a lean towards B. So they're taking a lot of space up in the A main here. They might try to go for a pincer move, but Aki
Ready for
constantly, yeah, Aki kind of constantly has been on this lurk or in this like 1v2 or 1v1 situation, and they've been very consistent on finding at least one, even in rounds in which they've been losing. They have been finding 1 or 2 a round. Aki's been kind of shiny here.
Yeah, it definitely has been, and gonna need to keep on shining if they want to convert this, but a great one to start, putting them into a 5v4, grouping up over towards this
30
A site,
seconds
but
left.
2 players to receive this Vivich and Sunny here.
Right, push coming through. Guys make their way up. They're gonna find the first one on Vivich, playing in and around the cove. They're gonna spot the Harbor. The Harbor's gonna get away, not actually taking any damage. Timer got very low there, but they were able to get it down. Gia is gonna spot a couple of them as they try to leave, and is gonna do some serious damage. But Kylie, rat in their walls, is gonna find one to secure a better rifle as well. As now Zed and Sunny have to do everything. And no one's playing up towards tower. The rest are in post plan. What can they do in this situation? They don't have the numbers to do the crossfire. But Sunny's gonna find 2. Zeb's gonna do everything they can. They're gonna try to find the weak kill, but Kylie, like I mentioned before, rat in the walls is going to be up in tower and is going to stop anything more. But that was very good from them for a 2v4 situation. Finding, I think, 3 there is massive.
Yeah, it definitely was. But like you said, I mean, Kylie, just that safe pair of hands for Momentum in that round, being the thorn in Gia's side and then just being there to close it out as well. It's exactly what you want to see from your Sentinel. Now, Zero Pressure will be forced onto an eco for the first time this half. Just sheriffs across the board. And on the other side, full rifles and a few ultimates. Garner as well. Once again, Aurelia going down first. That's your smokes. Well, you do have the double controller. You sure would like your Omen, especially for that paranoia. I mean, one of the key abilities that you're looking for whenever you're locking him in.
Yeah, and Vivich, though, is going to find 1 here. Sheriff in hand is going to do what they can. Aki is here, feet away from the enemy. Won't know it until they swing through. He's only gonna find one, but Ibya's gonna find the trade. 2 for 1 in total there. Cove's gonna go down, followed by the plant.
Spike
Now,
planted.
again, we see this 2v3 come through. Sunny, last left alive.
Yeah, and this
Once
flank
more.
from Gia
Yeah,
will
but
be
that's
noted.
sheer. Yeah, it's just gonna give away so much.
Now she has to go all the way back around mid, and this is buying so much time. Sure, the thought is there from... Oh, but I think they heard it as well,
No
yeah.
charges.
Now they're gonna know.
Blocking fire.
We're gonna see some util invested. Almost noted there. Sheriff in hand is gonna do what they can. Kai's gonna find the first one. Cove's gonna fall, and Sunny is gonna get it to half. Valiant attempt, you could say.
A
but
bow and
that is
arrow is
going to be a very
old-fashioned.
clean post
Sometimes old ways are best.
coming out from the attack side here. And
Definitely.
after a rough first half, I mean, that's 3 rounds in a row. That's the first time we've seen them put 3 rounds together. So
Yeah.
a lot of sign of life here coming out from Momentum.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, it's a completely different look as well. I mean, the rotates, the main thing I'm noticing is these rotates are confident. I mean, the IGL full momentum knows exactly where they're wanting to go, and the calls have been great. 5 players over towards the B site, and Zev is going to note out all of them. TPing
Doors
away,
activated.
can't really do much by themselves, but the site will be claimed for momentum.
And that's a lot of information, Gavin. I mean, they did also have to invest the Harbor Ultimate to make sure that they can't capitalize on it. Here, we're seeing multiple ults get traded as well. Gotta Love has got to find the second one. He's gonna do what they can. Trades all
Player
around.
standing.
And suddenly, Aurelia, 1v4, has to do what they can.
enemy
Finds
remaining.
one, finds 2 with the collateral. Finds the third one. Is going to TP away before getting spotted. 1 left standing. They know roughly where they are. He's going to tap. He's going to try to catch him off. Time is ticking, though. Kim does not have the damage with this dart.
Dart missed! No!
Dart. No way to get it. They sneak it through. Aurelia in the 1v4 finds it. Against all odds.
My god. That is insane from Aurelia. And I mean, just the flank to pick up the 3K. I thought they might get 1, maybe 2. Then the spray down. I mean, just sick work from the controller player of Zero Pressure. And that's got to be a heartbreaker if you're Momentum GC. Zero Pressure with a little bit of life back into this, but on this buy, it's not looking pretty. 3 Guardians, 2 Phantoms, a rifle, or a Vandal and a Phantom, excuse me, but we'll be able to invest into this.
Seeing Goddess of Love pushing pretty aggressively here. Is going to get noted. Has to use almost all their utility to get away, and is going to take a serious amount of damage
Wall
in the
trick.
process. Spike is still sitting
Doors activated.
towards their spawn as well, so no determined location for it to go quite yet, but defensive side of 0 Point, they have pushed out rather aggressively, and they're going to find the kill. Zev
I have the spike.
is going to find it. They're going to try
Spike
to play. No, they're not. No, they're not. Never mind. They're not going to go for that rifle. They're just going to back away and take
Look at
numbers
this
advantage.
adjustment. Instantly, as soon as they got this pick, they started rotating over towards this B site, reading that the adjustment from momentum would push themselves into this site. They should be set up to retake fairly quickly. Gia has the Steel Garden as well.
There.
Ooh, Aurelia is going to find another one, doing the most they can. Aki, though, kind of playing up and on and off angles. Going to do what they can, but Goddess of Love finds 2. The Hunter's Fury can only do so much to stall the plant. Knives are being utilized for them as well. That dart's going to make them get pushed back in a 3v2 now. They know exactly where they are. The shock dart kill is going to find it. Aki only has 20 health. Has to be playing on the saw back.
Last player
Hopefully he can
standing.
find something. He's going to
One
do some
enemy
damage, but it's not
remaining.
enough. 1v2 Kim. 1v1, never mind. Kim finds both of them. The damage by the team is just enough to
Level
help them get
cats
over the
and
line.
home,
Only
yes.
20 health remaining for themselves as well. Bounce back, bro.
Yeah. I mean, couldn't close the clutch out in round number 17, or 18, excuse me, but gets revenge on Aurelia that time around, and now instantly I mean, they won round number 18 by the skin of their teeth for zero pressure, and now they lost that, only 1900 for the credit loss bonus, and Sheriff no armor. It is not looking pretty. You'd think Momentum would be looking to get up to a 9th round and just playing groups together, not wanting to give up any of these rifles as Zev goes walkabouts. The timing on this, no way. They saw each other.
Oh, Kylie on the rope is just not accurate enough. They are going to find Zev, but that is going to be a rifle being secured down to just the numbers. Meanwhile, they do push on the site. Momentum taking a lot of space. Goddess of Love is going to push out the rest of the team. A little bit delayed thanks to some Vice utility. G is going to do what they can to try to stop this plant. Not going to do anything though. Just some damage. Aurelia through the smoke is going to be found. Goddess of Love finds Sunny. And now, yet again, we're seeing the advantage go over towards Momentum. But nasty shot coming out from Gia. Going to help equalize it a little bit. Vivich going to catch Kim off guard. That starts to give no speed.
One enemy remaining.
But ult invest it. Not quick enough though. Ibia falls. Gia. Excuse me. Gia falls to Ibia. Ibia is going to find Vivich as well. Very unfortunate timing. The ult did pop off, but they got that first bullet out right before the gun got blocked up.
Yeah, I mean, the Deagle was in hand, so as well as just the backup, and now the timeout being called from the coach of Zero Pressure, wanting to put an end to this, as this will be another rifle v rifle round on the board. And for the other side, I mean, that was your Steel Garden invested as well, so you don't have that for this round. And I mean, if I'm going to be looking towards anything, Kylie has been just a thorn constantly in the side of Zero Pressure. That round was punished, but I would like to see that try to continue over towards that B site. Have some aggression come out from this Yoru, either towards that B site or towards that mid. I mean, that's kind of what the TP allows you to do, and that's what you want to play towards.
Yeah, I mean, last half they got so much value out of that Yoru because of how much space it took. Being able to take that space and immediately pull back, play in and around the opponents, and they just haven't been able to get anywhere near as much value out of it. And Yoru, it hasn't really helped when the rotates either. They have not been using it to rotate that quick way over either. So honestly, that, like you mentioned, that difference in the value that we're getting out of the Yoru has been very evident so far.
Yeah. And I'll be interested to see what the adjustment is from Coach Nitsu. Once again, going aggressive, but Momentum GC is ready for it. They fell for it last rounds, but we'll farm this orb up. TP out.
Kylie is gonna find that frag. Aurelia caught out of position there.
Just so good for it, man.
Yeah, constantly.
Oh
Meanwhile, God is the
God,
love.
these shots.
Clean with it. It is going to force a bit of a rotate now, as they now have the numbers advantage. They're going to make their way over to B. The entirety of the defense is now sitting in mid. It's going to allow for a quick rotation. They might catch Kylie off guard.
Gone.
There we go. Okay. Vivich is going to find that frag, but that's going to give a lot of information that the defense is over there. Meanwhile,
I suggest you move.
attack hasn't pushed through yet. Momentum is just now making their way on the site. The rotate is going to be there for the defense. Gia's going to try to find this frag. Not going to do anything. Zev's going to catch him off guard.
Spike planted.
On the flank, Flash goes through, doesn't find anything though, being forced to push back. Zev with another 3v2 now.
One enemy remaining.
They have the information. Shock Dart's gonna push him out of the corner. They'll get find the frag, and Gia is gonna find 2 to close it out. A little bit of chaos there.
A good recovery from Zero Pressure, though. I mean, that was a 3v5 at its peak. The push down middle, like we were talking about in that timeout, kind of came out and worked for them, able to pick up the flank onto Kylie. And then Zev going crazy on that flank, was able to get the dimensional drift as well. And now on map points, Momentum, though, still have a chance in this. 3 chances to bring it to overtime, and
Retrieving wall.
some good ults as well to try to put it into getting to that spot, the Hunter's Fury and the Steel Garden, but a bit of a switch up from the attack, actually. Heavily starting to default towards this A, or the B main space, excuse me.
Yeah, and it looks like it might just be a fake out. Spike is still leaning towards A, closer towards that spawn point for them, but they are going to invest a lot into trying to find something here. Goddess of Love is going to do a little bit of damage on the Zev. Two duelists are going to spot each other.
You even can see the Spike still over towards that A main, bottom mid position. So they're just trying to pull some rotates over with the idea to go back over towards A later in the round. Once the cooldowns are back up, you might even see, I mean, like you see now, the 3 rotates over towards that B site, Harbor Wall, to try to maybe put some question marks in the mind of Zero Pressure.
Yeah, a lot of space being taken by the attack here, but they keep pulling off. It looks like mid might be where they want to go, try to change it up, seeing as they've been hitting through mains of both sites. Goddess of Love here is going to do what they can. Meanwhile, Kylie is going to try to find a frag over on B, but Goddess of Love in the mid space is going to find 2. That's going to open up the round here. Vivich is going to run right into him. Kim is going to find that kill, though. 12 seconds on the clock. They are going to get the spike down, but now a 2v4. Goddess of Love is going to spot Sunny. Both are going to be here. Tries to find the angle, won't do it. Gia does find one constellation kill, but it's only going to be a constellation kill. That's 4-1. Is not going to go their way. 10-12 now. Still match point, but they're slowly closing in to try to bring it to OT.
Yeah, for sure. And it was something I got to make note of. I mean, we were talking about it at the halftime. Goddess of Love was kind of being a bit more silent. And now stepping back up 22-18, the top fragger of the lobby. I mean, that round getting 3 the round before, getting a 2, or just 1, I believe. But just doing great work to set their team up for an advantage. And this swap up once again, just aggressive space taking from Zero Pressure. Orb is tapped. Just Zev posted in this off angle, but there's 4 players over towards this A spot, or A site, and as we see, momentum's gearing up. Go over.
Shots are traded. Aki is gonna find the 1. Zev's gonna do a little bit of damage, but won't find anything.
Your fault. My ult.
Meanwhile, Goddess of Love pushing all the way on the site's gonna find a player up in heaven. That site essentially gonna be theirs for free. Goddess of Love is very weak though. Spike's gonna go down. 2 players are still pretty much in mid right now. So the rotate is just about now getting into a position where they can actually have an impact. Aurelia is gonna hope to maybe find someone off guard here. There we go. And that's a chance of a rifle if they can play in around it. Flash is not going to be far enough. Kim's going to find Aurelia there. No rifle to be picked up. Vivich is going to find another one. And now Vivich, only light shields in hand, is going to do what they can to hold off 3 attackers, and they just don't have it. That is going to be round 11. Still match point, and we're 1 round away, possibly, from either the end of the game or to an overtime.
Yeah, and something as well, I mean, Momentum not even having to invest a lot of their ultimates. I mean, any of their ultimates, actually. Only 2 away from that Harbor ult as well. So some strong ones to try to close it out here. For the other side, I mean, what worked outside of the timeout, gonna try to maybe replicate it this round. Cascade and the walk down to this deep position from Zev. As we see 5 players grouped up, and it's just Gia. Gonna have to play retake.
Playing aggressive might be exactly what they need here. The harbor walls are going to stop them from pushing out. It's going to get a spike down, and it's going to be a 5-man push. They are just on site. It's theirs. Spike's going to go down. Goddess of Love is also a very aggressive angle, but Gia's going to find him. Kim's going to find the flanker, though. Post plant is still This one's still possible for them, and through the smoke, Ibia finds one. Sunny's gonna run him down, find two in response, bring it to a 3v2 now. Need to do what they can, but the last two are in this post-plant spot. Sova with the Hunter's Fury as well. They're gonna try to invest their own to try to push this over off, but they cannot do too much. There we go, one being invested, but Sunny's gonna find them. They're gonna do what they can. They can't get the Hunter's Fury to go away fast enough, and Sunny finds four. Do they have the time though? Holy!
My God.
I'm not tired. Are you? Deploying drone.
I don't think you can have much closer of an end of a game there. You really can't.
No, that is insane. 0.15 seconds on the defuse, and Sunny, I mean, getting that 4K to close it out. I mean, just an insane map number one, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for never seeing Abyss before on stream or from either of these teams. So a great performance to start us off for the night.
Yeah, the teams definitely showed out, and while that was a very, very good win from Zero Pressure there, I do have to point out, because we were talking about how, like, you know, on that first half, if they can get 4 or 5, that could be the thing that wins them the game. Imagine if they were able to just get like 1 or 2 more rounds. That easily could have gone the other way. But before we send it to an intermission, we have the post-match breakdown here, and how crazy the two players we highlighted before the game ended up being the 2 MVPs for either teams, both dropping some crazy numbers.
Yeah, both. And we're kind of seeing I mean, Zev, like we were saying, went off with those just frags, and he even got us to love was beating them out with those first blood engagements, but not able to convert it over. But I'll be super interested to once again kind of see this head to head once we head over towards the second map of Fracture, as we'll likely, I mean, I'm assuming we'll see them both on that Raze pick, which I feel like, in my opinion, I like both of these players on from what I've seen a lot more than this Yoru or the Jet. Obviously, it's map dependent, but I'm just super excited to continue to see this matchup. And I mean, if Momentum want to take it to Lotus, they first are going to have to take it to Fracture. Or win Fracture. Excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is telling the future. And before we get to that Fracture map, we are going to send it over to a brief intermission so our production and the teams can get ready. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Welcome back from that quick intermission. We are going to be getting started pretty shortly with map 2 of tonight's matchup. We have Zero Pressure going up against Momentum GC. And of course, this is the Tenax Series 3, Week 3, Day 2, and presented by the great people over at Harmony Esports. So thanks again to them. But we just got off of map number 1, Abyss. 13-11, Soren, going the favor of Zero Pressure. And now we're going to be going into Zero Pressure's map pick of Fracture. So I'm really excited for this one. I think it should be a little interesting.
Absolutely. I mean, we were speaking a little bit before we had actually gotten into the live, but we had no expectation for Abyss because we had not seen it, and both teams really showed out. So I'm really excited to see Fracture, especially because Fracture is a bit of a weird map. Fracture isn't really played like any of the other maps. It's not one you could just simply kind of sit on site and wait to receive pressure and take advantage of it. You have to be pushing out. You have to be taking space. If you do not take space, you're going to lose the map. And
Yeah.
both teams played that space taking game really well on Abyss. So I'm really excited to see how they take that strategy and adapt it onto a map that thrives on that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think as well, we saw, I mean, Zero Pressure has played this in the past, but they were rocking that Evil Geniuses comp with that Sova, just swapping out the Killjoy for that Cypher, and it looks like they'll be going over towards it again. And for the other side of Momentum, just not anything super insane, just Breach KO, double initiator from both sides. So just a little more flashes and a little more oomph to the hits, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we see these two teams kind of shake out, we do see some very key differences here. First of all, in the Sentinels, we have the attacking side rocking that Killjoy versus Aurelia going to be over on the Cypher. I think that's actually a really interesting point. Both of these agents are really good. I know Cypher right now kind of is the meta. He is the go-to Sentinel. But Killjoy has some really interesting setups on
Yeah.
this map. So it's really interesting to see if, even though you're picking the less meta or a little bit of the weaker agent, if some setups can really make a big deal and make it find its value, especially with that lockdown under B. I think could really be a big difference maker. Also,
Yeah.
we are seeing a little bit of a change up from map number 1, where Zev and Goddess of Love, our two kind of highlight players, are actually going to be on the same agent this time. So now a little bit more of a direct comparison can be made, and they had a very close fight duking it out. I think it was like 22 kills to 19. So very close, both putting up big numbers for their team. It's going to be really interesting to see what they bring in the map number 2.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm a little surprised we're not seeing Tejo being brought out from either side, but maybe just not practice enough with it, just wanting to go with what's comfortable. And as well, I mean, you were talking about that Killjoy. I agree. I don't think Killjoy gets as much value, especially since Tejo has come in. A lot of his utility kind of just completely nullifies anything that Killjoy has, especially with his salvos breaking the turrets, but without Zero Pressure running that Tejo, the Killjoy should be free to kind of do whatever they want, place their setups as well as those ultimates, and not really have to worry about anything free going ahead and breaking it. But it will be Zero Pressure starting off on the defense. A pretty standard setup, but we're actually going to be seeing a north side crunch to start this off. It's going to be 2 players, Kylie and Ibia, to receive this. Actually, the dart doesn't scan anything, so the arcade players aren't pushing up quite yet. But Zev
might be able to find something. Zev's going to find both of them. Kylie's going to do something to help out, but not going to be quite enough. They are going to take sight, though. Spike is going to go down. Zev is still sitting up top there. Meanwhile, the rotates come through, and now suddenly there's really nowhere for this defense to play. They don't have an off angle. They just need to do what they can. Aki is going to spot them, so it takes a lot of damage. 14 health left standing. Shock dart just barely gonna miss. Aurelia is gonna find one on the push through. One up top, one low. Got us love. I think we spotted there momentarily.
One enemy remaining.
They can. Sunny finds the first. Goddess of love. Doing everything they can to keep them off. They're playing in around the smokes. There's chaos. You can't see anything. But in the chaos, Sunny finds it. And that is going to be a defuse. That's the first round going over to the defenders.
Yeah, that is 2-1 for the pistol round. Zero pressure. Being able to pick up the first round of their own map pick. And I mean, starting off their defensive half pretty well. The last time we saw them on Fracture, they were able to win 9 out of 12 of those defense rounds on a map that is historically a very attack-favored map where you're looking to see a lot of that aggression pay off. But, I mean, maybe Zero Pressure has kind of cracked that code. Going to be buying into this. Not super heavy, kind of going with that 2 pistols buy to maybe set yourself up for more success in the bonus. And for the side of momentum, just some sheriffs, some ghosts, but 5 players on this north side just watching for any aggression. But we see there's none coming out except for this hall re-clear on Zero Pressure side.
Hack tactics is being utilized here. 5 players just roaming into arcade. I think some will be heard, and now definitely will be spotted. That was at least 2 on cam, so they should know to expect it. The rotates are coming over quick and fast. Meanwhile, Goddess of Love is going to find one to open up sight. Sunny, though, Guardian is going to find the kill through the spray, but doesn't quite matter. Sight is theirs.
Look at how quick this wrap is.
They missed the first shot, but they find the second one. Spike did not get planted. Aki needs to do what they can.
Enemy remaining.
No spike is not great for them as they don't get the money nor the ult point, and the retake is just clean. That's almost 5 for 0. The only one falling is the Cypher. That's a lot of money going into the pockets of this defense.
Yeah, and I mean, Aurelia was that one with the ghost, so should be able to buy into this, but just opting for the Sheriff, actually. So just trying to build up the economy even more, I guess. Not really wanting to try to super heavily commit into this bonus round, but we were seeing there the power of pushing forward through halls once again. This stun play to try to gain control as well as the smoke. Just basic standard Fracture stuff over towards this hall position, but this Zero Pressure squad looks like they're very drilled on this map. They know exactly how they need to layer this utility.
Yeah, and notably, that was a lot being thrown at halls by both teams there. Both teams used quite a bit of their breach utility. I saw a Sova dart getting tossed in. Some of it is rechargeable, which is nice. However, a lot of that wasn't. That's a lot of util that is no longer going to be available for either a site take or a retake from either of these teams.
Yeah, and Kylie just heard these rotates going through.
Zev.
A little bit messy from Zev, but the rotates will come through and the site will be gains for momentum.
Yes, he's going to pull back now. Spike did get planted, and now there's no one coming on the flank. They're just going to try to front to back it. G is going to find the first kill from up in heaven through the doors. They're going to spot 2 back in halls. They know 2 are going to be closer towards site. This needs to be clean from them. Despite the flash, Vivich finds 1. Aki, though, sitting in the back, is going to find the first one. Pull a little bit of attention. Aurelia is pushing through with that Sheriff. Is going to find what they can. Meanwhile, just so much utility is being used to keep them off
Last player standing.
Spike. It's going to be a little bit of a spray, but the tracer rounds are going to give away the location. They're running out of time. I don't think they have it. They don't. That is going to be the first round going over to momentum there. It was sketchy and it was down to time, but at this point, you take the rounds. That was a great use of the satchel there. Good job.
And I gotta say, I mean, we were kind of mentioning their name on that map number 1, but Aki just kind of being that pillar that just so consistent, getting value for momentum there, just having that molly, playing their life, and just winning out the rounds. Now, a quick showstopper from Zev down over towards Dish and going straight over the head of Kylie.
Oh, that's a big investment to not really find any value out of it, but it is drawing a lot of attention, as you said. And now Smoke's being down, they are just gonna go for a plant. They're gonna play for a post, I think, here. Nothing really in terms of space being taken on site, or at least not towards Dish.
Yeah, this is so rough for Zero Pressure to retake 3 players over towards that Dish position, like you were talking.
They have no information. That's going to be a massive ult, going to push him into the line of sight of Kim. Meanwhile, G and Sunny's going to find the trades to level it out. And Aurelia is going to bring it to their advantage. 3v2. It was a little bit sketchy, but they're going to do what they can. Kylie finds the one, trying to shoot him in the back, but Sunny finds the 2 in front of them. And chaotic round, sketchy round for them, but they find the victory in the chaos.
Remember to talk to each other out there.
And that was a great Brimstone ultimate from Sunny as well during that retake. I mean, just putting that over towards Rafters and Sand's position kind of flooded them into the CT position as well for the drop players to open fire, and then just cleaning it up afterwards. 3 rounds on the board for Zero Pressure, and once again, we're going to be seeing this early aggression over towards this tree position. It's going to be met early on by Momentum.
Yeah, both teams kind of running at each other, and there we go. Zeb is going to find the first one, is going to invest the paint shells to try to hold back someone that's not there, but Zev finds 3 regardless. Despite being pushed out, despite not being behind cover, they do just enough with the rifle to find what they need. Gia finds the 4th, and now Ibia. Oh no, Ibia! Okay, does find the kill. Almost doesn't, though. Tries to get a rifle to level the playing field a little bit, but Gia is there. Interesting round. Very, very interesting round. Zeb doing what they can, and they find the round regardless.
Yeah. But I mean, it's some great ideas coming out from Zero Pressure.
Oh, yeah.
You can see why this is their map pick, why they feel so confident on Fracture. I mean, once again, maybe I think we're going to be seeing almost the same exact play over towards Tree. We will have Ibia to note this out, maybe just knifing to try to spot out some information as the rest of their team garners some hall space. And yeah, that knife will tag onto 3. That's great information.
Yeah,
And a
that's
speed up over towards
rather.
the side.
My ult's ready.
Yeah, it's rather nice, as that also gives a lot of confidence over to this attack as they just run on the site. Vivich, though, is going to spot out Kylie, trying to sit on that flank and lurk, not going to get any value out of it. However, that's going to give a lot of time for their team to get on the site, and Relly is actually going to take a decent chunk of damage there from that aftershock. Meanwhile, the entirety of this defense is just coming down on them with pressure.
Yeah, the Rolling Thunder as well.
Is gonna get invested. They're gonna find quite a bit. Vivich is gonna find the first one. Rocket is not gonna find anything, but it's definitely gonna cause some problems. Vivich is gonna spot them. Relia and Vivich are just mowing them down. Last one playing in halls, and they're gonna hunt them down like dogs.
Flawless.
That's 5th round on the board. This defense is looking clean from Zero Pressure.
Oh, it is for sure. And I mean, even the lurk being picked up on from Kylie just being shut down, and I feel like that was so just crucial to the attack of Momentum GC over on Abyss. I mean, Kylie getting a lurk open or just being able to call their teammates over, and whenever they're being shut down like that, it definitely kind of puts a hole in the plan of Momentum. Now it's 3 ultimates for Momentum, but only Sheriffs to shoot back with, and playing far off site for Zero Pressure, not wanting to get caught out by any of those ultimates over towards that B site, just respecting the utility that Momentum has.
Dev is gonna note that as it gets placed, the turret. So turret's not gonna find too much. Meanwhile, Killjoy does have Spike in hand, and it looks like B is gonna be their destination of choice. However, looks like it's gonna be rather slow. Most of the defense is still sitting over towards A. But the defense is not pushing out. Looks like they're kind of giving them the site, and they're gonna play some Cypher gameplay. sit back and walk into the trips. Not going to find the kill, though, but it is a lot of damage being done, especially paired with that aftershock from the breach. And here we go. This is that value that we said from the Killjoy. They are gonna just go for it. That's gonna be really interesting. A lot being invested here. Time is ticking, though. They need to get into a spot where they won't get spotted. Zev backs away into the smoke. Just barely enough time. 2v3. Lots of damage still to be done on the board. Gia does it again. Gia finds 2. Last one needs to run in, but they got it to half. But they got the defuse before they fell. I can't believe that round. Again, coming down to milliseconds as they just get the defuse off. Moments. Not even moments. Quicker than moments.
Yeah.
Before they
here.
fall.
I don't know. I feel like you need a timeout after that one. 2 ultimates invested, both the lockdown and the orbital strike on the eco round of all things. That is so rough. Not getting anything for their effort now. Will have rifles
Camera taken out.
to their name, but this pressure from Zev constantly disrespecting any space that Momentum might have, and this has kind of been the pulling force. But look at this. It's going to be an engagement.
Ooh, the crosshair's not where it needs to be, but Zev finds the first one before falling, and Gia, the silent hero so far, has been getting some massive frags in this map so far, is going to find that trade. A lot of damage done, though, so it's not perfect. Defense
down.
now sitting back, only one player playing out,
Launching
but
smoke.
he looks to be the choice for this attack, and 3 players are kind of all right next to each other.
Yeah, and if
One
they get
piece of
info
heat.
on this, Zero Pressure does have this Hunter's Fury. It will be popped.
And they lead him right in the halls. That's going to give away so much information, and that is going to get their teammate killed. Vivitch with the Hunter's Fury is going to find the one. They know the location of the other 2 as well, especially with that spot.
Last player standing.
They're going to do what they can, but they're just going to run him down. Aurelia finds the first. Now they're going to try to play off, but the defuse is coming through. They can't stop it. They don't have the information nor the pings. And yet again, another clean round here from Zero Pressure. And I mean, first half on Abyss, they looked good. They're looking nearly flawless here in map number 2.
They really are, and that timeout will be called. But like you said, I mean, Zero Pressure just getting to do pretty much anything they want and get away with it. The constant push-ups from Zev and company, and the trades just constantly going their way. Zev being able to get the opener. I mean, how many times now at this point, Soren? So Momentum need to find a way to dissuade this, and I don't think they have money for it now, but if they could get an operator online on the attack, I think it might be a huge just ability to try to shut down some of that aggression coming out from Zero Pressure.
Oh yeah, it'd be risky, but it could massively change the landscape of the game. With this map in particular, with how many entry points there are onto each site, it is a little bit risky going that up because it very well could not get anything, and they could just be completely on the other side of the map. But in an ideal world, you get that, you find the exact point, where they're pushing through, you find that opening pick, and then suddenly that operator is the world's biggest deterrent in Valorant. They will not want to push you again. And that really can help, solidify where you want to push through. So
Right there.
it's risky, but I agree. I think an operator could be massive for them here. Wow, that's a very aggressive push from the
Showstopper.
Run him down. The Showstopper finds nothing. And Zev and Sunny, they are running riot right now. Vivitch falls. Vivitch with just confirming the kill. They were just confirming the kill. It's fine. They do have Spike. Goddess of Love is going to do what they can. They're going to swing out. Guardian in hand is going to find 2. Needs to do a little bit more. That's going to be some money in their back pocket. Maybe try to save the Guardian. But, I mean, this is a little bit insurmountable.
Yeah, and I gotta say,
Especially
yeah, it's just rough, Soren. And coming out of the timeout there as well, what's been working so well for Zero Pressure has been that aggression, most notably over towards that tree B main area. And yet Momentum they just weren't ready for it. They kind of got caught off guard, and even though the showstopper missed, Zev and Sunny were able to clean it up, and once that spike went down, the round was kind of over.
Yeah. And at this point, I mean, it was always pretty close, especially going into the second half on Abyss. But as we're getting down to like 8-1, at some point you gotta start taking into account what the mental space might be, especially as they keep just pushing into these angles and immediately dying off rip. Zev with yet another, I can't wait to see the first blood stats for Zev. Vivich again is gonna spot out Kylie. That's going to be a lot of information, a lot of damage, as well as Gia finds a kill with the Aftershock. They're just trapped, nowhere to go. They can try to find it, but it doesn't matter because Zev disrespecting them. Who cares if they're 10 feet in front of you? Push through anyway, get 3, don't die.
It's just insane. I mean, I feel like they're untouchable right now, and even next to work, I mean, Sunny right next up with him, 12-2 currently, kind of just getting those more silent frags, but putting up the numbers just as much. Now Momentum gonna be forced down to that lower buy once again. The ultimate cycle will be coming back in favor of them, but this B main pressure just not even going to be contested as the adjustment, the pivot over towards this A site. But look at Aurelia. His kill trips are set up perfectly.
Sunny peeks, doesn't even fully peek out, and gets a wall bang and takes them down to half without even seeing them. Immediately put a little bit on the back foot there. Breach has to play off. The defense is making their way through halls, and we are seeing investment of the Rolling Thunder. It's not going to find anything, though. Kylie is going to try to keep them at bay for a little bit longer. This is the best looking round we've seen from them in quite a minute now. 3v4 as Gia takes down Aki. They're trying to push through. Well, Halls is still closed off. Kylie and Ibia find one apiece. Now Gia has done a lot for them. He's going to run through. Has no bullets. Needs to do everything, and they just don't. Kylie, difference maker. 4 kills on the round, and they get their second round finally.
And that is a huge one, Soren, as well. Getting the second on the board. I mean, we all know the 9-3 curse, but I mean, I truly think they needed it for this round. They have 4 ultimates for round number 12, only 1 away from the orbital strike as well. So, I mean, if they can't get this round, it might be looking like a quick 2-0 for Zero Pressure. But before that, we do have some more Valorant left to play.
Yeah, and that's also a really good round for the mental. I say that. Zev pushes through, does invest the showstopper, but can't do anything with it. Zev finds Ibia. Ibia is just going to fall to their knee. They did invest the ultimate, so not quite dead yet. Vivich, though, is going to find another one on the other side of the map. Aki's going to do what they can. Time is going to run out for Ibia. And now, Aki is going to do everything they can. They are going to invest the ult, but 1v3 has to do it all. 57 health left, and Zev again run at him, get 3 kills, and survive. It's just, how do you stop this? How do you stop a player who's on such a high? And it seems like even if you think you're gonna win, you can't, because they are just firing on all cylinders.
It's ridiculous. I would love to be the IGL of Zero Pressure right now and just be like, okay, Zev, we're gonna send you down this little lane. Hope you get 3. Oh, looky there, you do it again. And I mean, 10-2 for the first half, and Momentum, I mean, they're not out of it till the rounds hit 13, but it needs to start here, and it needs to start now. They need to get this pistol for the side of Zero Pressure. I mean, yeah.
They're at the point where they need to be flawless. There's no room for error. If they don't pick up this round, they almost certainly don't get the next, and then suddenly they're at match point. They need to be clean with it. They need to be darn near flawless in order to bring this back. But we've seen crazier. It's not impossible, but man, Mount Kilimanjaro.
It's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard trek up this mountain.
Yeah, and starting off, taking that arcade space, but Kylie inserted behind this box. Oh, and Vivich has the adjustment as well. It's an entryway into this B site for zero pressure.
Luckily, defense is there to try to keep him off, but Vivich has Spike and is going to get it down.
Spike planted.
Does take a lot of damage. Multiple are silenced on site, so it's not perfect for them.
Right there.
But still 5v4, only a little bit of damage. The push comes through, but no one's directly on site. Goddess Love finds one. Aurelia, though, in the off angle finds two. Gia with a third on the round, and Aurelia finds three for themselves. And that flawless start that they needed is not coming to fruition. That is the 11th round here for Zero Pressure as they continue, and they are going to invest heavy, and we are seeing some buyouts here from Momentum as well.
Yeah. And this has been a dominant performance from Zero Pressure, one of the top teams in the Tenax series. So, I mean, you may be coming into this match thinking it's favored, but I mean, when Zev is firing like this, as well as the rest of their team, I mean, we can just see why they're touted as one of those top teams. A quick play into arcade with the Brim Stim Beacon, but no one's home. Everyone's pushed down underneath.
That is site going to be completely taken. Two
Spike planted.
players are going to be moving underneath B. They're not going to see anyone towards the end from an arcade, though. And Aurelia is going to be on the flank underneath as well. And now the defense is scattered, nowhere to go.
Smoke's down.
The one on the flank gets mowed down. They do
Last
find the
player
first one.
standing.
Kim. Vivich cuts him down. 3 kills on the round. And Kim, the last one standing, needs to do it all. Is going to find two who kind of line up. A lot of damage done to the one over in main. Kim picks up a rifle, but Aurelia at point blank range with the Sheriff is going to close it. Match and
point.
series point here for Zero Pressure.
Yeah, and even though they did lose 3 players there, they kind of did that FPX style buy, so they'll have plenty of money into this. Will force down alongside it as well. So Gia and Vivich, 200, 150 credits. And on the other side, I mean, Momentum has to do the same, force down, and it's not looking pretty as far as that goes. But it's going to need to be 10 flawless rounds in a row if Momentum wants to try to take this to OT.
But as they say, you win by winning one round after another, but that's not a great start as one nail goes on the coffin. Vivich finds the Killjoy sitting on site. And now they're going to try to do what they can, but Vivich is just running at them. Kim falls. They don't have the retake potential of the breach. Hunter's Fury is going to be invested. That's going to find a lot. It's going to find a kill as well as Vivich with 3 on the round. Vivich is single-handedly breaking the hearts of Momentum as they run through. Gia sitting in the smoke. Vivich with the 4 as they clean house on Fracture. 2-0 for the series.
Yeah, and such a dominant second map as well. I mean, the map pick of Zero Pressure going their way, and I mean, it makes sense why. And I mean, I don't know. It's just the defense was so nasty from Zero Pressure. Just like you mentioned in the pre-show, just taking that aggression on the defense side, just pushing out those lanes, and the utility was so coordinated, so well set, and Momentum just couldn't really find a response to it.
Yeah, and I think the story of this series in general, and I think the worst part about this for Momentum is this is not going to be a demoralizing loss. This is going to be a loss of what if. I mentioned it before. That last map 1 was so close. It came down to 0.15 seconds left on the timer, whether or not we were going to OT. Yeah. If they had won one more round, in that first half. If they won 2 more rounds, if they could put together just a little bit more on that Abyss, even if they got blown out on Fracture, regardless of the map 1, we could have seen a map 3.
Yeah.
This is one of those series that you look back as a team and you go, if just 2 rounds went our way, this whole series could have been different.
Yeah, it'll be a good one for the VOD review for sure. And I
Absolutely.
mean, there's plenty more to come for Momentum and Zero Pressure, hopefully for both of these squads. I think Zero Pressure with this win will qualify into playoffs, so I'm excited to see them there, but that is in a few weeks. But look at this, Soren. I mean, Vivich actually managing to take that MVP, 17-7 for first kills, and I don't think we get to see it here, but Zeb was on 5 first bloods, and I don't even think that goes to show the impact. I mean, it was just insane work from all of those Zero Pressure players.
Yeah, and I mean, you say that Zev having 5 first bloods, Vivich on screen, you can see he had 4. They only played what 15 rounds, and
Yeah.
9 of them went to 2 players on the same team.
That is
That
crazy. That is crazy.
that's base taking potential. Their aggression immediately off rip. That potential to find that first blood meant that momentum was constantly on the back foot, even when they had the timeout and the time to regroup and get their mental back or a strategy in mind. The moment the round started, they were immediately pushed onto the back foot in almost every single round. And it's so hard to come back and win or even put rounds together when you're constantly starting off at a deficit.
Yeah,
I think Momentum did a great job, but Zero Pressure, especially on map 2, they were a different monster.
for sure. And I think that will be all from us tonight. We only had the one match of the night with Zero Pressure, like we said, taking the series 2-0 over Momentum GC. But just wanted to thank everyone for coming out, supporting the stream, as well as the teams for getting streamed and putting on a great show for everyone. I know we couldn't be here without them, but as well, thank you to the production staff who helped make this possible. And thank you, Soren, for hopping on the cast. It was great casting with you. But
Pleasure.
yeah, that should be all from us. Thank you to Harmony Esports as well. I don't know if next week we will be streaming, but make sure to keep it'll be 2 weeks from now on that Wednesday. So make sure to keep an eye out in the Tenax series Discord for when that next stream is going to be coming. You don't want to miss it, but that is all from us tonight. Your caster Zero Fight and Soren. Have a great one.